Tocqueville originally came to America to study our penal system, and the first prison he visited was Sing Sing. My tour guide, Sean Pica, spent many years here. He's a minority in this maximum security prison, where 9 out of 10 inmates are Black or Hispanic.
When I was 16 years old, one of my classmates in school told me that her father was doing things that he shouldn't be doing to her, and we planned his death. I found myself in a prison facing a 24-year sentence. I was 16 years old, I weighed 120 pounds. I wasn't shaving yet. So I really thought my life was over. But Sing Sing was a different place for me. It was a college behind those walls.
What do we mean by urbanization?
When I went home, I didn't envision myself as being still involved with the college program, but the superintendent had asked if I would consider staying on as the director. Of course, I had been earning 18 cents an hour for a long time, so I let him know we needed to renegotiate my salary, like, immediately.
Jermaine, you're going to talk about the Louvre?
I'm going to take a stab at it. It's a museum.
All right.
And because it's Louvre, I'm going to guess that it's French. Is it in France?
It is right in the center of Paris. It's the old royal palace.
It's going to all pay off one day. One of these days, I'm going to be sitting in the Louvre, which is the museum of all museums, and I'm going to be talking to someone in French, and they're going to be surprised when I tell them I learned French in a maximum security prison in America.
Jermaine, when you first heard this term, the American dream, what did that phrase mean to you?
The American dream meant to me money, jewelry, girls, fast cars. I got it through selling drugs.
Tell us about the crime that led you to be here.
The crime that landed me here is for a man that I grew up with. And we had a disagreement. He was a gunslinger, I was a gunslinger, and he got shot in the head. I got arrested, convicted of murder in the second degree, sentenced to 22 years to life.
It's very human to define another person based on the worst thing they ever did.
I have to redefine Jermaine Archer. I cannot be known for the worst decision that was ever made or the worst day of my life. I can't, because that's not who my mother raised me to be. That's not who I should have been. That's not what God put me on this earth to be. And I realize now that that's not the end. That wasn't the end. This is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end for me. This is maybe the end of the beginning, like Winston Churchill said.
For the Bachelor of Science, Clarence Macklin. Jermaine Archer.
Congratulations. Thank you. I love you. It felt so good to know that, Mama, you did not fail. This is who you made me to be. This person getting a college degree. My queen. It was so important for my nephews to be there because I realized that they want to be like the me they heard about. I have to break that cycle because my grandfather was in prison, my father was in prison, my uncles were in prison, my brothers were in prison, I'm in prison. I gotta stop the cycle.
I think a lot of people would say, these guys are murderers. Why should I pay for your education?
This education isn't about me. It's not about helping me. It's about me now being able to go home and get a job and pay taxes and help our economy like anyone else. Unfortunately, 43% of all the men and women that are incarcerated in this country return to prison in the first 3 years. Right now, we've had 303 graduates in 14 years. Less than 1% of our graduates that have been through the program and now home have returned to prison. So for a program that is privately funded, saving New York State taxpayers $8 million a year, I'm not sure I see the downside to that.
I do believe that the only way I can really atone for the things I did is to go back to the place I did it and do different. I have to dig up those landmines that I planted out there, which are the young black men in the community. I have to mentor kids firsthand. And no matter how much I do anywhere else in the world, if I do not go back to Flatbush and make amends, then my journey won't be complete.